That bombarded our great-grandparents a century ago. The question is, have we come far enough? There might be some tendency to scoff at the influence of all those ads and billboards and commercials and posters that assault our senses at every turn. They're so common, we might think that we don't even notice them. But in 1980, the advertising industry didn't spend $54.75 billion just to be ignored. That's about 40% of the 1980 Defense Department budget. And folks who spend that kind of bucks just don't fail to leave their mark on our national conscience. As advertising enters the decade of the 80s, its destinies are still being guided by the New York-based companies grouped together under the somewhat inaccurate title of Madison Avenue. As we've seen, advertising at its worst can be misleading or even downright dangerous. At the very least, bad advertising is annoying nonsense that must somehow be endured. But at its best, advertising is a creative art form, and one that develops styles and techniques that are eagerly copied by the most famous movie and TV directors. Unlike the famous directors, the innovators at places like this, the Ted Bates Agency in New York, are skilled professionals whose names rarely become household words. And yet their talents are seen by hundreds of millions of people every day of the year. And this is where all that creative magic that we see on our screen begins. A device called a storyboard. And starting right here on the storyboard, the whole message begins to come to life. Make no mistake about it, a good commercial is a lot more than art for art's sake. It provides a service that at one time or another we all need. It tells us what's playing at the movies or which market has the best price on zucchini. It tells us which airline has the best family fare to Hackensack or where we can find the tightest pair of blue jeans in all creation. And the best part of all is that painting sketches on a storyboard is so easy to do. Wish I could do this a lot slower. The sketch would be a lot better, but I'm sort of hurrying along here because I'm not feeling so well today, and I can finish this and get home, get into bed.
We're not feeling well. Well, this is just the thing for you, Sonny. It'll cure anything but a broken heart or bankruptcy. Guaranteed. Well, that's how it's done. And as you may have guessed, it isn't very easy at all, and it's not very cheap either. Some people contend that the high cost of advertising adds considerable expense to the cost of our goods and services. Others believe that because it creates a mass market, advertising actually helps to keep prices down. It's one of those arguments that never seems to get settled. But our love-hate relationship with advertising concerns more than money. One of the major complaints is that advertising presents a distorted, funhouse mirror image of our lives. Maybe so. But somewhere in that reflection, there lies an undistorted kernel of the truth. Maybe that is what hurts the most. For Remember When, I'm Dick Cavett.
Remember when things were different then, but then all things change, somehow rearrange. That's why while we can, we should remember when.
on HBO. A caveman warrior gets caught in a time warp as he battles Stone Age tribes and futuristic enemies in You're the Hunter from the Future. Next.